Hi, we're Port Manteau, and today we're going to break down our track Pyro, released on Zerothree Records. So, I think the first thing to look at is the kick and bass. So if I just quickly solo the kick, you'll hear it's quite a real sounding kick, which is really nice, but it can cause a lot of problems with the tail. So what we've done is we actually shortened it just because it went on a bit too long. And then we've used a transient master to really take down the sustain of it. If I turn this off, you can kind of, it sounds a lot more controlled just when you add the bass in. Otherwise, if I just let that as it was, it would have just sound really muddy. So if we have a look at the bass, we kind of used a similar kind of sound for quite a few of our tracks, just because the Moog Sub 37 sounds class. So we used that. We actually bounced it out to audio, so we don't have the original settings, but I can play what it did sound like. It's a really simple pattern. So it's like not a lot really. So what we've done in this instance is we've done a low and a top bass. So you can see there, we've just shelved a bit at the top off there, and then we've duplicated it. And if I just play this part, you can see that we've scooped it right up the top. We've put a Hass effect to make it really wide, and then we've put on this this delay here just to make it a bit groovier. So then when you add in so then what we've done is we've just grouped that together. That was the original Moog channel that we had on to record it in. And then we've grouped it together and done some processing. So there's a little bit of EQ on the individual channels, and then just put, again, just taking out some of the real low end. And then we've used the VMR, the virtual mix rack from Slate Digital, which do class plugins. And see, we've just boosted the lows a bit, boosted them right at the top, and then a bit of compression as well. Then we've just done sidechain and then a bit extra EQ, just scooping out a bit of those problem areas where it can like get a bit muddy. I think next the best to talk about is probably the drums. It's pretty simple.
Most of the samples come from the machine because the sound class.
They do sound a bit like.
So the snare,
I probably just will go to the snare. It's kind of the biggest thing in the drums, I would say. So, it's like gives that 80s big gated like reverb snare sound. So we take so what we've done is exactly that. Just done a gated reverb. We duplicated it, as you can see there, and then just
sidechain the gate to the original.
Exactly. So without it, it's like it's arid. But then when you put, it just sounds mega. And these are just simple hat patterns that we did on the machine.
Just drag them out of the machine.
It's pretty simple stuff really, like basic processing, bit of EQ, the Hass effect, just to widen them up.
That's a Slate one, isn't it?
And then hats, just doing a bit of saturation, put the drive up just to thicken them up a bit. EQ, compression just to control it. Sometimes it can pop out a little bit too much when you put a bit of saturation on, so we just control the levels a bit there. And I think that's pretty much it. There's a few knocks here and there. Simple ride pattern. Again, with the buttons erosion on, just to give it, it's kind of like saturation or grittiness, EQ, and then the odd hits here and there. That's pretty much it. So I think the next thing probably talk about is the stabs. So I'll just quickly play them here. Just to say as well, we have bounced out the audio. We do tend to do a lot of our processing on the audio rather than the MIDI, just because we find it's a lot easier and you know what you're working with. Yeah. So if I just play the original, this was done on the Anna. So just get that up and show you. This was originally like a sequence preset, which we took that off and then just played our own MIDI in. But again, the Anna sounds great, that sort of stuff. And what we've done is we've just automated the release and the filter cut off just to like give it movement throughout the track, as well as I think the sustain and the decay as well. So we've done like pretty much the ADSR. And yeah, it's just simple chords with a bit of variation. So in terms of processing, just a bit of compression, saturation again, just to give a bit of warmth, bit of EQ, nothing too fancy there, just boosting it around to give a bit of tone and then taking the low end out. And then we've got the echo here. Again, just to give it a bit of movement. And then some sidechain, and then filter just again to cut out the low end. So we've then bounced it out, and then done some extra processing. So again, the virtual mix rack, so a bit of EQ again to give it a bit of shine, bit more tops there. This revival plugin just to give it a bit of shimmer again, just to make it cut through the mix a bit better.
Brightens it up a bit.
Aye, and then a bit of compression just there as well. So it's the end result. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the subs. So the next thing is the ARP, which comes in halfway through the track. So this was done on the native instrument blocks, which is kind of like a replica of
like a digital modular.
Modular synth. It's you just get some really cool, weird sounds, and it's meant for sequencers and stuff. Slowing down and speeding back up. So what we've actually done on the instrument is we've actually turned the clock off here, so it's being clocked here to Ableton's BPM. We actually just turned it off and then just slowed it down ourselves, but it was quite difficult to do.
Couldn't get it timed up.
Yeah, so we just had to record it straight in. Getting the MIDI down first was just a bit of a no-go. So it's quite an interesting effect, especially in breakdowns, and then using it as a build works really well. So in terms of processing, again, you can see all these are switched off because we've just banged them on the audio channel. So what have we got here? Bit of reverb, Valhalla Room. Sounds great.
Use that on pretty much every track.
Definitely. There's that bit of saturation there. Filter, I've got that automated through, so when it speeds back up, you automate the filter so it gets higher, so it sounds a bit like when you're on a mixer, when you're DJing. EQ, just notching out some resonant frequencies there, just cleans up the mix quite a lot. Again, the virtual mix rack, you can probably see that we love this EQ, pretty much use it on everything.
Every track nearly.
And this compressor sounds great as well. Again, this bit of shimmer that help it cut through. I think that's pretty much it. Another filter, but this time it's a low pass filter, so we've got that being automated as well, just in the break, and then a sidechain compressor just to get that pumping effect. Yeah, sidechain to kick. We quite a lot of times for volume automation, we haven't in this instance, but we quite a lot of time put a utility on just to automate the volume, automate the gain, so then you're not
Instead of
affecting the volume, because when you come to mix the track, it's a bit of a nightmare. So that's the main elements of our track Pyro, which is part of a 2-track EP with another track Faded. It's out on the 24th of April 2020 on Zerothree Records.